Look at him. He's 50 years old, exhausted and carrying 200 kilograms. You might think he just eats too much and sits too long. But that's the biggest lie we tell ourselves. According to the CDC in 2024, 42% of American adults are obese. It's not just a willpower issue. It's a biological shift. When you hit 50, an invisible barrier forms around your waistline. We call it visceral fat. Harvard research shows this deep belly fat is far more dangerous than the soft subcutaneous fat under your skin. Every morning starts the same. He tries to put on the pants that fit perfectly a year ago, but the belt buckles under pressure. Bam, it flies off. This midlife metabolism shift is real. His body has stopped burning fuel and started hoarding it. He feels trapped in a body that refuses to cooperate. Why does the belly grow even when he tries to cut back on dinner? The answer isn't in his plate. It's deep inside his blood. Let's meet the invisible puppet masters. Meet hormone number 1, insulin. His normal job is to unlock healthy cells to let blood sugar in for energy. But after decades of processed carbs, sugary drinks, and constant energy crashes, the body's cells have forcefully changed the locks. This condition is known as insulin resistance. Research shows over 80% of overweight adults struggle with this. As men age, the HOMA-IR index measuring this resistance often spikes. So this poor hormone is forced to work overtime, pumping more and more into the bloodstream. The pancreas becomes completely exhausted and overloaded. And when your insulin levels are constantly high, your body is chemically locked in fat storage mode. You physically cannot burn that stubborn belly fat. Now add hormone number 2 into this chaos. Cortisol, the body's ultimate stress alarm. Between brutal work deadlines, endless emails, and the heavy financial worries of midlife, this internal alarm system is being triggered constantly, day and night. Cortisol was designed by evolution to save you from a tiger attack. But today, the tiger is your boss, your mortgage, and your lack of sleep. So the alarm never stops ringing. And chronic stress doesn't just make you mentally tired. A landmark study in psychoneuroendocrinology found that chronic high cortisol increases your depression risk by 40%. But physically, it does something even worse. It commands your body to hoard energy, and not just anywhere. Cortisol specifically directs fat storage deep into your center. This creates the infamous cortisol belly, a hard, protruding midsection that feels almost solid. It's packing fat directly around your organs, preparing for a famine that will never come. Here is where the true disaster strikes. When chronic high cortisol meets high insulin, these two powerful hormones join forces, reinforcing that toxic yellow visceral fat. They build a perfect, impenetrable wall of fat around your waistline. No amount of green tea or sit-ups can break through this double hormone fortress. Now let's meet hormone number 3, leptin the messenger. Normally, fat cells release leptin to travel to your brain with a clear message. I am full. But our 50-year-old friend can finish a massive dinner and still feel completely starving 30 minutes later. Why? Because of that toxic, glowing yellow wall of visceral fat we just saw. The larger your fat cells grow, the more leptin they produce. It sounds like a good thing, right? Wrong. According to the Journal of Clinical Investigation, chronic obesity causes severe cellular inflammation. This inflammation physically damages the blood-brain barrier, making it impossible for the leptin messengers to reach the hypothalamus. The poor messenger is literally lost in a thick, toxic fog of inflammation. So what happens to the brain? It sits in the dark, deaf to the signals, believing you have zero body fat. Your brain panics. It pulls the alarm, convinced you are starving to death. This is leptin resistance. Research shows this broken communication is why willpower fails. Your brain actively fights you to eat more. Worse yet, to save you from this imaginary starvation, your brain drastically slows down your resting metabolism. It's a cruel biological joke. You carry 200 kilograms of energy, yet your brain screams for fuel. He feels guilty, thinking he lacks discipline. But his internal communication system has completely crashed. And this leptin blindness is just the beginning. The crash takes down two more crucial hormones with it. Let's look at hormone number 4. This glowing amber shield is testosterone, the protector of male vitality. According to the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, testosterone drops about 1% every year after age 30. By age 50, this andropause leaves him physically weaker. Notice how he struggles with groceries he used to carry effortlessly. Testosterone is crucial for maintaining muscle mass, and muscle tissue is your body's primary fat-burning engine. When free testosterone levels crash, that healthy muscle tissue literally shrinks, drastically slowing down his basal metabolic rate. Finally, floating in the dark, we find hormone number 5, the thyroid, shaped like a sluggish purple butterfly. Your thyroid is the master thermostat. It dictates exactly how fast or slow your body burns calories. National Institutes of Health notes that hypothyroidism, an underactive thyroid burn, affects roughly 5% of the U.S. population. When the thyroid slows down, his entire internal engine cools off. He feels chronic fatigue and even physical coldness. Inside, the biological thermostat plunges into the freezing zone. The metabolic fire we saw earlier cannot be reignited. Now combine these two missing messengers. Dropping testosterone strips away the muscle, while a sluggish thyroid kills the engine. It's a catastrophic metabolic breakdown. His internal fat-burning machinery is now completely rusted, frozen, and abandoned. Because the engine is broken, any food he eats, even a healthy salad, has nowhere to go. So the body redirects those calories straight back to fortifying that toxic, impenetrable wall of visceral belly fat. High insulin, raging cortisol, deaf leptin, low testosterone, and a frozen thyroid. No wonder he is completely stuck. So what does society tell our 50-year-old friend to do? Just eat less. Desperate, he tries severe crash dieting. But remember, his brain is already trapped in leptin blindness, falsely believing he's starving. Now he is actually starving himself. This triggers an evolutionary panic. The body desperately needs energy. But that massive yellow wall of belly fat, it's completely locked down by high insulin and cortisol. So the body has no choice. It turns to the only other fuel available. It aggressively burns down your own muscle for immediate survival. This accelerates a dangerous condition called sarcopenia, where adults lose 3 to 8% of their muscle mass per decade. He steps on the scale and sees the number drop. He celebrates, but in reality, he is cannibalizing his own muscle, making his underlying metabolic engine even weaker. Metabolic damage isn't a myth. It's the physical destruction of your calorie-burning machinery. Eventually, the biological hunger becomes unbearable. Willpower breaks and he binges. But now his muscle engine is drastically smaller. The same food suddenly creates a massive calorie surplus. Here is the terrifying truth from obesity reviews. 80% of people who lose weight rapidly through crash dieting regain it within 5 years. He regains all the belly fat, but none of the muscle. Extreme starving destroys metabolism. So, if eating less destroys his metabolism, what about the other half of the myth? Move more. He hits the treadmill, running until he's completely breathless. But this is a monumental mistake. Biomechanics dictate that running places up to 4 times your body weight on your joints. That's 800 kilograms of force. Always consult a doctor before intense exercise. Because internally, your brain doesn't know you're at a gym. It interprets this breathless, high-intensity cardio as fleeing for your life from a predator. This sends cortisol levels through the roof. Feeling under attack, the body aggressively locks down. It clings to every ounce of belly fat for survival. He finishes the workout completely destroyed. Now compare this chaotic internal disaster to a gentle, steady 30-minute walk at a moderate pace. A brisk walk protects his heavy joints from destructive impact. But more importantly, it changes his hormones. Research published in Frontiers in Psychology shows that moderate, mindful walking significantly lowers circulating cortisol levels. But in his bloodstream, the chaotic alarms stop. The cortisol entity finally puts down the bell and rests. Without that constant, screaming stress signal, the body finally feels safe enough to let go. The biological locks on the fat cells begin to ease, gently coaxing the body into fat-burning mode without triggering an evolutionary panic. He finishes the walk feeling energized, preserving his precious muscle mass. The move more mantra is absolutely deadly if you are moving the wrong way. It's time to stop fighting your biology and start fixing it. It's time to rebuild the foundation. Welcome to the Hormone Reset Blueprint. Step 1. Strict sleep hygiene. The Sleep Foundation warns that consistently sleeping under 7 hours increases your early mortality risk by 12%. Fixing his circadian rhythm isn't just about resting. It's a profound biological reset. By turning off the screens, cortisol is finally forced to clock out and melatonin clocks in. With cortisol instantly lowered by deep sleep, the toxic inflammation fog begins to clear. For the first time in years, the pink leptin messenger clearly delivers its envelope to the brain. Step 2. Protein synthesis and heavy resistance training. He stops running and starts lifting. A landmark JAMA study shows that lifting weights just twice a week reduces mortality risk by 20%. Like the destructive muscle cannibalism of crash diets, lifting heavy creates healthy micro tears in the tissue. This triggers protein synthesis. The body actively rushes in to rebuild the tissue thicker and stronger. Building muscle is the single most effective, natural way to revive your dropping testosterone levels. And with this new dense muscle mass, that rusted, frozen metabolic engine is completely defrosted, roaring to life with a blazingly fast basal metabolic rate. He eats a hearty, high-protein meal. And for the first time in years, he actually feels full. This biological reset doesn't happen overnight. It requires immense patience and unwavering daily consistency. A famous University College London study found it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit. During this time, your brain is literally rewiring itself, and your hormones are finding their new baseline. Eventually, the chaotic internal war ends. The hormones become a perfectly synchronized biological orchestra. Insulin handles energy, cortisol stays calm, leptin signals fullness, testosterone builds muscle, and the thyroid burns fat. The stubborn, visceral fat wall naturally dismantles, not from starvation, but from perfect biological cooperation. And you don't need a fitness model physique. The Diabetes Prevention Program study shows that losing just 5 to 7% of your total body weight reduces type 2 diabetes risk by 58%. Our 50-year-old man looks in the mirror. He is not a shredded bodybuilder, but he is fundamentally transformed. He has boundless daily energy, his posture is upright, and the chronic fatigue is completely gone. He hikes up a steep incline effortlessly, his heavy joints fully protected by his newly built muscle mass. He effortlessly leaves the younger hikers behind. This is the true power of a healthy, healed metabolism. Stop fighting your biology with extreme crash diets and punishing cardio. Learn to speak its language. Feed it, rest it, challenge it, and your body will completely take care of the rest. This video is for educational purposes only. Please consult a healthcare professional.